Welcome to this look at new mods on Farming Simulator 22 with me, MrSealyp. It's Monday the 28th of March, it's a new week and we've got new mods and we have got a couple of updates. With regard to the mods that dropped on Friday, I was unavailable Friday to do a mod review, and as I had thought, the day before we had 3 mods, the day before that we had 4 mods. I knew Friday would get loads. Now I'm going to ask you all a question. Anyone that wants to comment, please let me know. On a day like that, when giants drop 30 plus mods, and when 3, 4, 5 of those mods are packs as well, which then can ramp the mod count up to 40 plus, that's not conducive to the way I do my mod reviews. I've been doing my mod reviews now for a few years, and that amount of mods and the way I do my style of mod review, it doesn't work. So I'm trying to look at other ways of which I can do it. One of which being I could split it into a 2-part mod review. The time taken to prep everything to do it in 2 parts is, to do it anyway, is insane. But 2 parts would be one way of going about it. Going a little bit more speedily through, so I don't necessarily go into all the menus. I might, for example, just look at something and say, right, this is the download, this is the slot count, this is where you'll find it, there are some color options, bang, move on. Potentially that's an option, and it has been also suggested that I could do my mod reviews live on days like that. That doesn't work as well, as I've said before, for me doing live streaming because of how busy my house is and that kind of thing. But anyway, just let me know what you think. I need to work out a way of doing it differently. Anyway, today's mods and mod review, we've got a couple of updates. The map, the Angevin countryside by MichalLS, and the PB30X1 or 0x1 by Blend Art Kolchosnik Jr. and TT Czech Modding have both had updates today. We'll start here in front of me. We've got the Lizard Fork. This is by BGamer003. 2.84 megabytes download, 3 slots on console. This isn't, again, it's one of those ones you look and think, oh, another fork, oh, what do we need another fork for? We've got loads of them. But that being said, as you can see, it does have a tension strap. That does stand it apart from the crowd a little bit, but there's more to it than that. If we go to front-loader, no, not front-loader, bale loaders, and we click on it, it's only 400 anyway. Slot count will come down from 3 to 1, but this is why it's a little bit different. I think this might be around the wrong way. It doesn't matter. Anyway, regardless, we can have it 125 centimeter bales, 150 centimeter bales, 180 centimeter bales. We can have it double bale, 125 centimeter, double 150. We can have pallets narrow, pallets wide, bale spike. This is a very versatile bit of kit. It's not just a bale for round bales, bale spike, various different bale sizes, double bale sizes, plus pallet forks as well. So yeah, quite a universal bit of kit. We can change the main colour to anything on that pallet, and we can change the tines, prongs, to anything on that pallet. Like I say, it does have tension strap as well, which makes a big difference. I find bales can often jostle around on these types of forks. We can raise and lower L1 and circle automatically, or L1 and right stick side to side, and up and down we can do a bit of manual adjustment so you can get it in just the position you want, and then straps on and off if you should choose. The Lizard Fork by BGamer003. Next we've got the the back lifter. Now it says back lifter, you can put it on the front. It's a 3-point link mounted lifter basically. It's by EY Modding. It's 1.25 megabytes download, 2 slots on console. If I actually, if I'm looking at my sheet, look at where I'm going. So we hook up like so. Same thing this, L1 and circle raises and lowers the whole attachment, which you'll need to do when you want to hook up to things. This you'll find under front loaders, so this comes under the front loader section, and then you can use any front loader attachment on it, or if you've got adapters, you can mix and match and get it to all sorts of stuff. So that will do your automatic raise and lower. But then we've also got within that L1 and right stick up and down, and then side to side we'll do the tilt as well. So we've raised it up, we can go even further than that. So I've just grabbed a log fork just to sort of show you. Go back to that. Make sure using your tool selection you're on the correct thing. Otherwise, you might find it a little bit. You won't wonder why it's not working. So it does kind of. If you've done log work like I have, and you want to do it cheaply, and you've got a tractor and don't really want to buy a telehandler, that with a log fork on it makes a big difference. I like the option on that. Or if you're doing bales, or you're doing whatever it is you're doing, but just remembering as well that when you get to that point, it won't go any lower. That's the point. You've then got to lower the whole assembly from the go down to the last little bit. But yeah, very cool. Let me just go right way down. Why won't it let me? I think we need to be about there. There we go. And then disconnect. So, like I said, this you'll find under front loaders. 4,500. Not a bad price. Nice high lift capacity on it as well, which I like. Change the main colour to anything on that pallet. Very nice indeed. That's the back lifter by EY Modding. Next we've got the Fliegl ASW256. These Fliegl trailers in FS19. I remember in FS15 I loved them. The Fliegl Bull, it was my kind of go-to. FS19, we had them, but they kind of, there weren't as many, I don't think, and we didn't have the Fliegl Bull, I can't remember now, but anyway. They seem to be making a bit of a resurgence. We've got quite a few different modders have made different sizes and capacities of these. So this is the 256 by AgrarDesignAustria, 5.53 megabytes download, 5 slots on console, 26,000 litre capacity. It's a push trailer for unload. So as I've said before, if you've got an area where you haven't got enough room, headroom for unloading, and you don't want a tipper, it's push. It's only 40 grand as well. You can have tip unload like that, or tip grain door. You can see, only see just underneath there. There's a grain door as well. We do tip side grain door. And then we've also got L1 and right stick. There we go. Up and down will allow you to do that front flaps if you're doing silaging work or using a forage harvester and you're blowing chaff or whatever it is into there. It works rather well. This you'll find under tools and trailers. Slot count will come down from 5 to 1. 40 grand, like I said, 26,000 litre capacity. Takes pretty much everything. Options available. We've got Trelleborg, Michelin, BKT, Vredestein, and back again. And each of those we've got a standard and a wide option. So it will come down to, of those selections, which tyre manufacturer you like and whether you want a standard or a wide. Number plate option, license plate option. If you want to have a license plate on there, you don't have to. You can turn that off completely. So there you go, the Fliegl ASW256 by AgrarDesignAustria. Lovely. Moving on, we'll do this. This is the Machinesheds. This is by, I want to say this right. So apologies if I say it wrong. Is it Dithmarscher modding? Dithmarscher modding? It is 3.41 megabytes download, 5 slots on console. It's a big old build. Sloping roof, front to rear, as you can see. So it's a little bit lower at the back, but nice, light and airy. Big skylights. Nice big windows at the back as well. Plenty of space in here. We do have a light switch over this end. There we go. 2 opening doors at the front, 1 at the side. So whilst not technically a drive-through per se, you've got plenty of room for driving in and out and storing whatever you want to store in here. Nice building. Nicely textured, nicely detailed. Big old bit of kit. Under build mode, you'll find it under sheds. 65 grand. Slot count was 5, comes down to 1. And yeah, it's a machine shed. Does the job. Very nice indeed. That's by Dithmarscher Modding. Next, we've got this. This is the Butter Co Factory. Now, it looks very much like the dairy, doesn't it? It does. Standard dairy in-game, you take your milk and sugar, or sugar if you want to, and you can do your butter, you can do cheese, and you can do chocolate if you do the milk with the sugar. This one just does butter, and the big difference in this is you can still use milk. So if you're doing cows, you can use milk, but if you're not doing cows and you're doing crops, you can use oils to make butter. A bit like margarine, I suppose, that kind of thing. Sunflower oils, that, you know. So you do combinations of all of them. This is by CuratoFarms, 1.71 megabytes download, 17 slots on console. We've got our operational button around the front. We've got our delivery around the back. Then we get our pallet spawn point around the back here for Butterco. I do like that. If we go into our... Now we can go in, like I said, we can go in through the option here at the front, or we can go in for our main menu. And if we go, if we go there and we go down to our factory production change, you will see. So butter on the left-hand side. The first one is using oils only. So sunflower oil and olive oil. 10 sunflower oil, 5 olive oil. That's a nice mix, nice ratio, because it's much easier to do the sunflower. I say much easier to do a lot of sunflower than it is compared to doing olives. But anyway, so a 10 and a 5 gives you a 13 out. Each of these is basically 15 in, 13 out. So you don't lose a huge amount, but that you can get butter just using oils. So if you haven't got any cows, you've got no milk, absolutely like that. This one is a mixture of the two. So you've got canola oil and milk, again, 15 in, 13 out. And then the last one is milk only. So if you have got milk and you're not doing oils, you can still use it as a regular one. Like I said, this will only do butter though, as it says on the left-hand side. You can't do your cheese and you can't do your chocolate here. So if you want to go for a more traditional dairy, that may be something you're looking for. If you want the butter for something specific, maybe you want to go down this route. It's entirely your choice. And when you get your butter coming out to the other end, storing, selling or distributing, whichever you want to do, that is entirely your choice. When you've got your materials in, you then set them off this side. I'll put it on activate, but I've got no materials in there at the moment. But yeah, I mean, it's a handy bit of kit, that. I like it. Not everyone likes to do cows. They find them awkward with all the stuff you've got to do. If you can just go and do a canola crop, stick it through the oil factory and get your, you know, it might be, that's your cup of tea. You'll find this under productions, under factories. Second one in from the end on the right, 70 grand, so not too expensive either. Slot count will come down from 17 to 1 if you want to place more than one of those. If you wanted to place more than one of those, you absolutely can. The Butterco factory by CuratoFarms. Lovely. Through the back then we have got next the garage with Cowbarn. Take a deep breath on this one. There's something I need to check as well on this one. Garage with Cowbarn, 17.75 megabytes download. It will hold 50 cows. It's by MichalLS. It's 53 slots for the first one. Now, it's 53 slots for a couple of reasons, I guess. I don't know if it needs to be that high, but anyway, regardless, we've got the cow section here, as you can see. Dialog box just there for your 50, and I did put 50 in. Slurry point is just here with our slurry pit to the side there, looking very... I do like the fact it's got a nice watery kind of... I mean, it looks like a slurry pit. Down along here is where you put your bedding in and when you put your feed in. Trigger came up, no problem at all. But again, you haven't got a lot of height, so you might want to go for a push trailer rather than a tip trailer if you put it into here. Now, it does say in the instructions, I guess is what you refer to them as. If I can find it to my side. Right, so... It says, behind the cowshed there's a slurry tank with an added manure plate on which manure can be stored. So that's a manure plate, not a manure pit. It does say manure can be removed from the cowshed. In order to remove manure, a loader shovel should be placed in a marked place. In a marked place or the marked place, I'm not sure. So, this is one you have to muck out yourself and you put the manure on some manure plate. Now what I did do, sped up time a little bit, just coming through. This is the shed on the back as well, so you get the cow barn plus the shed. I did put a manure heap out the back here, and that, as you can see, is saying 0. That's empty. Now, it might be it's not quite close enough. I think it should be, but it didn't put anything into there. So I'm assuming it's going to be in here regardless what you do. Milk is out of this end. Like I said, nice drive-through section there. Header trailers, headers, that kind of stuff will be handy in there. Oh, was opening. There we go. And a shed and storage space in here as well. Lights on and off if you want your lights. Very handy. Like I said, the slot count is a little bit high. We're going to check that manure thing in a minute because that to me says where the trigger is. I don't know if we scoop it, I don't know if we go to it and check it. I haven't checked that yet and I probably should have done. You will find this under build mode, under animals, under our cows. On the right hand end, it's highlighted in blue at the bottom. Slot count comes down from 53 to 3, you'll be glad to know. 150 grand, like I said, it holds 50. I'll be honest, not a bad price considering what it holds. I suppose it's, yeah, but I mean, we've got more slots available, I guess, haven't we? So it's not as bad. If we open this up then, let's see if we can get this to work. Now I don't know if we scoop or whether we press L3 or whether there's not any there. I mean, this bucket should take everything. Sorry about scooping through the cows. I put that. Oh, there you go. Did that say start filling? It did. Once I'm down at a low enough point, there we are. Start filling. L3. And manure goes into the bucket. So it's not, I suppose, the traditional mucking up we were kind of used to on FS19, where you go along and scoop it all up and you can see the manure at the bottom. It's more of a trigger type situation. And when you've got your manure out, you just go and put it into the pit to the side. Which doesn't necessarily have a capacity, but you pile it all up. There you go. So, that's the garage with Cowbarn by MichalLS. Moving on from there, let's head over to here. We have got the AgroMash Cutter 300 and the AgroMash Duro 130-140. On the front here, we've got the AgroMash Cutter 300. Both of these are by Bartson V3. This one is 2.99 megabytes download, 4 slots on console, it's 3 meters wide, and it's a mulcher. At least that's where you'll find it, under mulchers. On the back, I assume this kind of came as a pack kind of thing really, but we've got the AgroMash Duro 130-140. This is the 130. I went for a 130, that's a 3 meter to match the 3 meter mulcher on the front. There is a 4 meter one of these. Again, I haven't tested this yet, but I think it's going to work. It should work as a subsoiler. That's where you find them. We have the gap through here as well and a 3-point section, which usually means PTO shaft can run through. So you could technically mulch, subsoil and seed, if you want to put a seed on the back or something else 3 meters wide on behind that and run the whole lot through in one operation. Nicely detailed, nice looking mods. That one is 5.49 megabytes download, 4 slots for the 3 meter and 5 slots for the 4 meter. I know, it's just loads of numbers, isn't it? Just saying numbers out loud. So if we go to mulchers, on the end there, the Cutter 300, 12 grand. Slot count comes down from 4 to 1. We'll run at 11 miles per hour, requires 70 horsepower. We've got the option of configuration none, with weights, warning squares and weights, or back to nothing. I think I went with everything on it. And then if we go to, it was subsoilers, wasn't it? Yep. Subsoilers, the Duro 130 and the Duro 140, 10 grand or 12 grand, 3 meters, 4 meters, 130 horsepower, 150 horsepower. Options on these, there were none. You get them just like that. So, what we'll do, I'll hook them both up. Turn the front one on, turn the front one on, just drop it down. Is it doing anything? Oh, there we go. That bit has already been mulched. That would be why I'm thinking that's weird. Where is it though? That bit hasn't been mulched. There we go. It was. You know what? That's really hard to see there. This crop stubble is very low, but you can see the gap between there and here. There isn't any stubble. I just couldn't really see it. Stubble on this one's a little bit higher. Plus, we're getting a much different texture. So, Right, the front is mulching. You don't need to turn it on, it just mulches as a roller, which is quite helpful. If we then go to the back, drop that down. So we're mulching and subsoiling. The subsoiling will give you a ploughed state, but a cultivated look or texture. Both at the same time, or one or the other. You can run the subsoiler separately, the mulcher separately, however you want to go about it. It's entirely up to you. So the AgroMash Cutter 300 and the AgroMash Duro 130, 140, both by Bartson V3. Drop that off. Drop that off. Next then we have got the Gorenc Granoter Supra 5 meter. This is, well, it was under cultivators. This is a cultivator, 10.71 megabytes download, 8 slots on console. This one is by WhiteBull modding. As you can see, it's a much bigger proposition. Probably should have gone with the front weight on this actually. Right. Never mind. Let's swing around. Open it up. Nice smooth animation. Drop it down. We are cultivating. Now, judging by the look of that, that's not a shallow cultivator, although I'm not getting stones coming up. Again, I can't remember whether I turned stones off or not. But anyway, 5 meter cultivator. Nice animation, nice bit of flex in that as well. It looks like there's a bit of movement. So if you get slightly uneven ground, that should work nicely. This you'll find under cultivators on the very end there, 12,500. It's not too bad actually for a 5 meter. I'm just looking, what's that one? Oh, it's a 12.2. 6 meter for 51 grand. 5 months and yeah, it's not bad. 12,500 for a 5 meter cultivator. Runs at 12 miles an hour. No options available. You get it just like that. Lovely. Right, let's drop that off. Do I have a tractor for this one? Oh, I already have. That's all right. I've got a tractor over there. Let's hop out. So, that's the Gorenc Granoter Supra 5 meter by WhiteBull modding. Next, we have got this. This is the Fortschritt B550. Interesting looking thing. It's a plough, but it comes with this section on it as well. The B601. Kind of all part of the same. If you want it, you don't have to have it. This is an optional extra. This is 10.77 megabytes download and 8 slots on console. It's by Grabfeldschmiede and Ingo 376. It's a 2.9 meter plough. Then you've got this rear section, which is basically a cultivating section, so you can plough and then cultivate at the same time. Although there is a bit of an overlap. I do like the fact that in transport you can have it in one long line, so it's right behind the tractor, and yeah, you can get down much narrower, I say lanes, it depends where you're using it, but it's still fairly long even if it is fairly narrow. You'll find it under ploughs, 15,400, will run at 7 miles an hour. Slot count will come down from 8 to 1. So you can have it standard like that, just the plough. Or you can have it with the packer, which puts that on it. You don't have to have the packer on there. And when you click on that, it changes the weight, adds the packer. It doesn't actually add any money. It's 0 to add the packer on there if you want it. Then we can change the main colour to anything on there. So a lot of the Fortschritt colours, there's nice Tatra red and sort of orangey, like egg yolk yellow really. And then we've got rim colour choice, anything on that palette there. It's a weird combination, I don't know why I did that, but anyway. So yeah, if you just have the plough on its own, 2.9 metres. So what we're going to do, let's give this a go. So, like I say, it doesn't come like this. When you first get it, let's do that. That's how you first get it. So the packer is out to one side and the plough's there. If you want it for transport, L1 and X, fold. The whole thing, you kind of need to drive forward. Opens out for transport, very handy. Let's put it back into its mode for operation. L1, and if you look on the options there, it says deactivate packer. So I can turn the packer off. L1 and up on the D-pad. If I now lower it, I can do 2.9 meter ploughing, The packer does absolutely nothing. But if I activate the packer, it drops it down, and like I say, you do get this overlap. So part of it is ploughing, part of it is then cultivating over the ploughing. So then what should happen, he says, and I'm not sure how this is going to work. There's no way of adjusting this either way. If I go this way, which is not how you would want to be running it, you want your lead of your furrow. No, it's going to put it the other way, isn't it? That's not going to work. It's going to leave a gap, isn't it? That's peculiar. If I drop it down and go again, I'm kind of going over the bit I've already done. And like I say, there's no way of adjusting that. Sometimes these packers, you get the option to roll it over the top. There's no option for that. I can create fields with the plough. It's a plough, so you can make your own fields, extend your fields you've got. That's weird. I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments how I'm doing it wrong, but there's no option. I can just fold it, unfold it, lower it, activate or deactivate packer. But I can't roll it over the top. So yeah, and I'd have to come back over again, do the next bit. I suppose, yeah, that would do. There's going to be a lot of backwards and forwards, isn't it? So now it will go back over the bit I didn't do before. I guess you'll get there. It's just because it overlaps by quite a bit, I suppose. That's what kind of threw me. Anyway, that's the Fortschritt B550. It will do that. If that's something you're particularly looking for. Which brings me on to the last of the mods. There is a new map, a ported over map, a newer version of a map, let's say. Medvedin 22 by Maydas MG3 has released. I'm hopefully going to get onto the map tour for that as soon as I can. So that's new. And then the last of the mods for today, we have got this. This is the Snowwolf 500. I suppose that had to happen at some point. Now, this is a snowmobile. When I was growing up, it was just a skidoo. It was always a skidoo. It was only, I don't know if that was just my family or here in the UK. Skidoo was synonymous with, now I know skidoo is a brand name of a snowmobile, but it was anything like that was just a skidoo. So straight away I was like, oh, we've got a skidoo. Or skidoo, or however you refer to them yourself. So, it's by Adams Kong. It is 5.79 megabytes download, 6 slots on console. It does have a trailer hitch on the back, so you can pull small trailers or whatever you want to pull that will hook up to it. What I suppose we could do with now is a bit of snow, really, couldn't we? There we go. That'll do. Bit of snow on the ground. Let's hop on. So, you'll find this under vehicles, under cars. 16 grand. We can change the main colour. Is there anything on that palette? Those are your options. 95 horsepower, 62 miles per hour. Something a bit different, isn't it? Does have light, or lights, should I say. Horn. So if you still need to go and check on your animals and the weather's a little bit inclement, shall we say, hop on your snowmobile and off you go. It's just supposed to be a bit of fun, isn't it? I like it, actually. I say that about most things. It's very unusual to find a mod I don't like, but anyway, that's it. I know it took ages for me to get skipped through until I got some snow. For you, it was a click of the fingers. For me, it took a little bit longer. So that's it. Snowwolf 500 by Adams Kong. I hope you found today's mod review useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please can you give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free, and if you want to share this video, then please be my guest, whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.